Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
You almost signed Christ. We live here. Listen. Shalom, shalom. Happy New Year's.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Shana Tova. Shana Tova. Shana Tova. Shana Tova. Shana Tova. Shalom, shalom, my friend. Christ, Happy New Year's. I hope y'all. Hey, man, y'all. We eating on thickness over here. See this? See this? Do you look at the layer? Look at the layer. Thickness. I love it too. Ain't no yeast in it yet. So, shalom, Most High in Christ. Happy New Year's. I'm actually standing today. But I ain't gonna lie, see, I like this bread. I'm trying to like how I'm sitting down. Welcome to One Nation Israelite School again. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. The Lord has allowed you to make it to another. Let me show y'all how much we appreciate the Lord. The Lord told us to have another. Look at it. Dip it in that.
Oh my God. He got icing on 11. Look at his face. Look at his face. He's proud.
I tell you. You don't need some drink, do you? Thickness. The thickness in this here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need some drink this. Stop forgetting. Yeah. It feels good if I must say that. Good. Don't forget the dip. Don't forget the dip. The layers are, oh my goodness. Shut up over here. Shalom, Most High in Christ. Let me stop. We damn 12 minutes in. I'm sorry, y'all. Happy New Year's if y'all can see. I'm in a good mood. Let me take one more bite and we're gonna get into this. Y'all know it's all mixed now. You gonna need some drink, I told you. Almost like a Popeye's biscuit. But good. Like I remembered it. So we here. Well, we here like we always here. We here for something completely different time. We here for what they call Sabbath or New Year's. Sabbath in the Hebrew tongue, Happy New Year's in the captivity tongue. Either way, Happy New Year. Go to the Father we have made. And we're gonna go over the new moon as always because a new year cannot start unless what came in first.
You know what?
I said we're gonna go over the new moon scriptures because the new year didn't start unless what came first. Exactly. The new moon. So, y'all forgive me, I should be eating. But the new year. So, with that being said, I pray y'all all enjoying y'all New Year's. With the intro and two. And we're gonna get into it because that's all right around the corner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I said Passover is right around. I don't know. So, so that means it's officially that time of the year. Well, if you made it back here, first I'll give yourself a hand because you know it's a long journey around, long circle around. And then Also give big shouts to the Most High because you know how much forgiveness was involved to get your ass back here again for another year. Every day we offend the Most High. Every day the Most High say, all right, one more chance. One more chance. One more chance. And yet, sometimes the Most High will kill you, but sometimes the Most High will let us see your fall first. That's where you let us see you lead as truth and just become degenerate. So, you still here? Son of the faith. Glory to the Father. Happy New Year. Shabbat. So, those who don't know, it's about that time. So it's that time for you to start getting rid of everything that contains yeast that you could possibly eat or taste. It's time to rid those things out of your habitats. Now, I'm jumping the gun. Let me slow down. We on the first. Think about, okay, yeah, you gotta get the stuff out your house, but first and foremost, when we came in, I always say Happy New Year's like 5, 6 times already. Some of them might be saying, the hell you mean Happy New Year's? It ain't New Year's. We celebrate New Year's in January. Well, that's according to the captivity. Now that you are back into who you are, I understand that you are Israel. And even if you ain't Israel, that you must keep these laws, statutes, and commandments to detach from that. Learn that you may have whatever type of salvation that is laid for the Gentiles versus the destruction that's yet to come. So with that, we say we in New Year's. Understand when they said New Year's was January. Let's go to Daniel's first. Gotta understand that this is not New Year's. I mean, that was not New Year's. Now, forgive me. All right, what did I call? Oh yeah, New Year. They changed. They think they changed the times. Let's get Daniel 7. Daniel chapter 7, verse 25.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 25. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Right. He would say, in God we trust, but then tell you it's okay to be homosexual. Then tell you you can change from being a woman to a man and a man to a woman. He would tell you, God we trust, that we're supposed to come through them to get a justice or a right judgment. Meanwhile, the system that it operates on is crooked and dirty. How do you speak great things against the Most High? You rip the Most High and Christ out of the churches and placed himself in his stead. That's why every time you mention the Bible or you mention the Most High or you mention Christ, people first think of a white man. Go ahead. You from the top again.
verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
How did he wear us out? In slavery. Wore us out with false doctrines, false hopes, false beliefs and religion. What?
And think to change times and laws.
He would do what?
And think to change times and laws.
He would think to change the times and the laws. Get the laws of the Most High. Sunday is the day that you should worship. You know, so that also came what? Changing times came what? When it's New Year's. You no longer keep New Year's in this proper time, which is around this time of the year, but you'll keep it in the winter, in January, when everything is dead. Not when everything's coming to life. So let's go to Exodus chapter 12, verse 2. So we went there just to prove that the reason why you celebrated January 1st as your New Year's is because the oppressor lied to you through slavery and in his mind changed times, but in the later days, the Most High is waking us back up to the proper time and to the proper way to keep these things. All right, so Exodus
chapter 12 and verse 2. Exodus chapter 12 and verse 2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of the month.
So what?
This month shall be unto you the beginning of month.
The Lord said that this month shall be the beginning of you months.
It shall be the first month of the year to you.
Which would be the month that we would really celebrate what is New Year's in. That's in the 12.
Yep, the 2.
All right, let's go to. So it says, this shall be the month. The beginning of months for you. What month was that? We go to chapter 13. And start at verse 3. Point is verse 4.
Exodus chapter 13 and verse 3. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month of Abib.
In what month?
In the month of Abib.
Go ahead.
And it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this service in this month. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread.
Just give me verse 4 now.
All right, verse 4. This day came ye out in the month of Abib.
This day came out in the month of Abib. So the whole point was, we read a lot, but we want to get back to tie it all in. You see, when all this took place, it was named the month of Abib. Now, even if you use your English tongue, you got to think about it. You use your English tongue, you only got 2 months to choose from that start with A. And you got to look at which one would most fit. If you're looking at your captive tongue, you're looking at April and you're looking at August. Abib is the one that makes the most sense, right? So now in the month of Abib, a month of Abib means corn. That means corn starts to bud. We know that we are in the, if we was just using nature signs. If we was just using signs of nature, we would check out the plants. But we know that because the month of Abib, it's the month of the year of corns. We know that when the corn start to bud, that we must be in what today would be called April, or back then Abib. So New Year's is when things begin to bloom, sprout, pop. Obviously, that a bud, that means that it's coming back to life. I'm trying to find a word. I don't want to say it wrong, but the recycling process is starting over. It's at the beginning again. It's no longer a dying process or a harvesting process. It's at the beginning. So, in the month of Abib, we were commanded to keep that as the first month. All right, so now let's go to Genesis. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 14.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 14. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 14. And God said, let there be light in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so.
Yeah.
And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the dark. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the first 4 days.
Right. So there we read about the creation and how everything was set to be divine, how we keep our time. So that's why we no longer have to, when we come into truth, when we wake up to who He is, we no longer have to be glued to the calendars anymore, because we get all our signs off of nature, basically. That's why when the Lord was pissed off, He said, "Are you hypocrites? You can discern when it's about to rain from looking at the sky. You can get all these signs, but you can't be them." So, the month of Abib is the first month. The Lord tells us how do we keep up with it based off of it's 2 lights. They said 1 light is going to rule, is going to determine feast days, signs, and all those. Well, which particular light would that be? And this is where we get into the conflict with the other 2 guys who I can't even believe I'm being this nice, because they like to take personal shots and call names. But I ain't gonna say that. But this is where we get into it with them at, because they preach the morning to morning. And with us believing that it's evening to evening, that makes us slow. Also, the fact that on some particular days you can see the moon in the daylight, that makes us slow. You can tell when a new moon is because you can see it when the sun is out too. Well, let's go back to Genesis 1 real quick, because we gotta make something clear for. And I'm trying to hold my tongue, but I'm about to turn harsh in a second. We're gonna do this for the dummies real quick, because I was a dumbass for saying that the new moon, this comment I made about the new moon, the days start when the evening comes, because we celebrate the new moon when the moon cycle is up. What time does the moon rule? Does it rule the nighttime, or does it rule the daytime? Right. So for him to point out that he can see the moon in the daylight matters absolutely none when the Most High said what? Let's go back to Genesis chapter 1. Let's get it.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and it was so.
Here's the whole point.
And God made two great lights.
He made two great lights.
The greater light to rule the day.
The greater light to rule what part?
The day.
The day?
And the lesser light.
Hold on. It said day?
Yep, the day.
Not night?
Not night.
So the greater light, for those with common sense, is the greater light of the two lights that was created. Is it the moon or is it the sun? So the greater light rules what part? So even though I can see the moon during the daytime, does that have any motherfucking standing on? Does it have any standing on which light rules what? So though you can see the moon in the daytime, it does not stop it from being the day's time. It's the day's period. The light that rules at night is which light? Read on.
And the lesser light to rule the night.
The lesser light rules the night. Now let's go to the Apocrypha for the dumbasses, the ones who grew stupid instead of strong. Let's go to the Apocrypha and let's see, did the Lord say that the sun would give us the signs of the feast, or did he say the moon would give us the signs of the feast? I don't know why people decide they're going to take it personal, take personal shots, and not really think things through of what you're looking at. You can stop from looking like a dumbass with just a little bit of thinking. You just get quiet. You let that pride go. You just sit back for a minute. Sometimes, you know how many times I don't want to say something to people or jump on people, post or attack. When I saw it, but I decided to hold back, and you know what happens? About an hour later, 2 hours later, or 2-3 days later, something I was going to attack, I would have been dead wrong. Or I'd get some more context to why they saying what they said, and it makes me know, oh, okay, I get what you're saying. But no. We had to be dumbasses and everything else behind it. We're going to Sirach. Yeah, I keep losing it too. But it's 43. Psalms 40. I said Psalms. Sirach 43. Yep.
Sirach chapter 43 and verse 6. Sirach chapter 43 and verse 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season for declaration of time and the sign of the world.
Right. So he says, he made the moon to serve in her season. What season is the moon? Oh, okay. Because the Lord just told us that the moon rules what?
Night.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know.
From the moon is the sign of feast.
It's the what?
It's the sign of feast.
It's the sign of feast. So why, again, am I battling or being called out by two knuckleheads who clearly ain't reading and seeing what they're saying? You tunnel vision. You only seeing what you think you know right now. And it's making you attack people, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You sound stupid. How the hell are we debating the new moon at the daytime? Because you tunnel vision now. You only see it from what you feel now, what you think is right. When the sun, when I said the sun, I don't know. But read it again one more time. Verse 7.
From the moon is the sign of feast.
It's the sign of feast. Go ahead.
A light that decreaseth in her perfection. The month is called after her name.
The month is called after her name. Remember, that's something that you taught me. Remember, you told me that. Smart guy. Remember, you told me that the word moon derived from the word month. Back when you also told me that that's what you told me though. But I'm the dumbass. But that's why when you become a teacher, you need one that'll teach you the principal thing again, because you forget. Because now you sounding stupid. You were going strong, then you grew stupid. And that's just what happens normally when you know. I tried to give some helpful advice about 3 years ago, or maybe 2 years ago. I said to you brothers, specifically, when you leave a camp that the only camp that you've known, you've been there all your life in the truth. When you leave, if you just so happen to leave that camp and you decide you're going to teach, stick to only teaching the basics first. You need to do that for about a good 4 to 5 months. Why? Because you like a kid that just been let loose in a candy store. All these times you was in this camp, they put parameters around you. Don't touch this. Don't read this. Don't touch that. Don't watch this. Don't do. You can only teach out of these handful of topics. They did that to you, and then once you leave, there's nobody guarding you. So now guess what happens? You start hearing this doctrine. You start hearing that doctrine. You start looking at this. I always wondered about this. Now you start going off of this. Now you got, and before you know it, you start bringing in crazy ass doctrines. You bug out because you will have nothing restraining you now. You know how it is. Like, let's imagine this. You somebody that has a terrible eating habit, but you got either a strong wife or a strong family. Let's say a child. Let's put it in a child part. You got a child that you know that if y'all don't guard them, they will eat till they throw up. They will glutton themselves out. They just terrible bad. Or let's put like this. You got a kid that if you don't guard what they eat, they eat junk food all the time. They never eat a real meal. Just junk food. Now they mess around and leave the nest, and you ain't there to hold them no more. And they mess around and get put in a junk food junkyard. What you think gonna happen? You're gonna go junkyard crazy. You're gonna eat everything up in there to the point that you do what? Destroy yourself. Same thing with somebody who comes into the truth. You come into a camp, they govern you and they guard you and they keep you away from all these other things that you could dabble in. The moment that guard isn't there anymore, if you don't stick to, just the things that you came that made you strong at first, you're going to start picking up stuff that you never knew about, stuff that you didn't know about, stuff that ain't true, stuff that you feel is true. You're going to start just picking up stuff and grabbing it, and before you know it, you destroy yourself. You give out, you come up with heresies and all types of crazy doctrines. Yeah, you even start calling the people that you once trusted, the people you once got counsel from, the people that you once counseled, people you talk, you look like a hypocrite to them, and you also start calling them crazy. You think something wrong with them because of the fact that you bugged out. So, once again, the moon is called after her name. What you talking about? Go ahead.
Verse 8, the month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her turning. Being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven.
Shining in the firmaments of heaven. Shining from the ozone. All right, so this right here is also explaining the moon phases. How is it the sign of beast? Because by the moon we know when we're into a new month, and by that we can tell what days, because moon comes, sun comes, moon comes, sun comes, moon comes, sun comes. You get enough of that back to back, you count the days. All right, so we know that a new moon is here, 15 days. Let's say the first month of the year, 15 days. We know that today is the new moon. Today is New Year's. 14 days out from now, we'll be where? Passover. All that is came from the moon. It didn't matter about you being able to see it in the daytime. Because the moon is what time? Night. So with that, now let's go to what makes one day better than the other.
Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 7. Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 7. Why doth one day excel another, when as all the light of every day in the year is of the sun?
Right. So all the light of the day, all the light of every day is of the sun. So therefore, morning to morning can't dictate your new moon. It can't dictate your new year. It can't dictate your Passover. It can't, because those things are determined by the sun. The moon plays this, those things are determined by the moon. The sun plays its part to give you your light to do, let's say if it was a regular day, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and there's no feast day to fall on it, the sun is still to give you the light to do the labors of the day. I wasn't smart enough to think of that. But the sun don't change.
That's gonna be hard to tell what day it is. If you ain't got no calendar or anything like that, how you gonna tell when the new month started? The sun is the same day.
This is stuff that I'm crazy as hell. Okay. But yes, that's just what it is. That's another common sense slapper, but it's something that you won't think about when you tunnel vision. When you tunneled and locked into seeing it the way you want to see it, or let's put it like this. Sometimes you could be so focused on proving people wrong that you don't even fucking realize you're wrong. Bingo. You're so busy trying to see, prove somebody else wrong. Oh, what they taught me was wrong because you mad at them because whatever happened, you left them, now you're mad. You're so busy trying to prove them wrong that you've been in facts. So every day has sun, has the light of the sun. So why is one day better than another? Go ahead.
By the knowledge of the Lord, they were distinguished.
By the knowledge of the Lord, they were extinguished. They were separated. They were made. The Lord said that this day is holy. This day is just a regular day, like your Sundays. It's just a regular day. It's just a regular day according to the Most High. But today, New Year's past, New Year's, the new moon, that's a special day. Because the Lord said so. That's why. So now understand when we say that it's a special day, even our forefathers knew that. How do we prove the forefathers knew it was special? Because they wouldn't just miss it for any old occasion. Let's go get that history real quick. We're going to start at verse. I just lost my page. Hold on, I just lost my page. What was I at? Yeah. I'm tripping. Which one you at? I don't want to start at 5. Well, we could start at 5, but I want to get to the point, kind of. You think it's like verse 18, something like that? I don't remember. Yeah, it's 18.
First Samuel chapter 20 and verse 18. First Samuel chapter 20 and verse 18. Then Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty.
Right. So it says tomorrow is the new moon, and you shall be missed, because your seat shall be empty. This is again what we normally when we first, like everybody who normally when they first class, we stop here and get them side notes. And I'm like, look, this is why you consider everybody that's amongst you. You don't do. Remember, what did Sirach tell us? That we labor not just for ourselves, but all those that may seek learning as well. Yeah. You never know who the hell is looking up to you, or who your spirit just naturally has a tie to somebody else for them to follow. And they looking forward to see you when you're not at no moon because you and whatever thing you feel, or whatever the case may be. Well, consider the people amongst you because your evil doings may teach them evil. And let's consider. So let's hold this real quick and get that Hebrews. Consider who may be watching you. Somebody may think that this thing is, well, it ain't that serious because brother didn't come because he was upset. Brother didn't come because he didn't feel like coming. Those who be missing Sabbaths and stuff for mediocre reasons and things like that, you never know. Lord may be holding you accountable because your deed may have been the swaying factor in somebody else's eyes. So we at Hebrews. Let's start at 10. 24 is it, but I want 23 too.
Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 23. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 23. Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering. For he is faithful that promised. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another.
Now, let's like it one more time. Read 24 one more time. I missed it.
Verse 24. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good work.
So it says, let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good work. Now we gotta understand what is love. Because it said provoke them into love. So I mean to provoke something means to edge, encourage, push, boost, set the example for. It says provoke them to love. Keeping the commandments of the Most High God. So when he tells you to provoke them to love it, one of the things they're gonna have to see you doing, how you gonna provoke them? By example. And that means you have to sacrifice times that you probably don't even want to fucking be in the building. But you have to be there. And you're gonna have to be there. And guess what? Make it look good because the Lord said you want everybody with what? Joyfulness. So you're gonna have to be there and you're gonna have to make it look good. See, that's one thing I had to learn too. I had to learn that it wasn't just enough for me to swallow my pride and show up. You know what I'm saying? Like I could show up, but if my attitude still stinks, I'm still snappy with everybody, I'm still like I'm throwing out little quotes that I know gonna set people off in the room because I'm pissed off on the inside. So when you come, we got to make it look good. So yes, man, that's what we gotta consider those amongst us. Consider those amongst us and provoke them into good works by what our good examples first. Verse 25.
Verse 25. Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching.
I'm sorry, read that one more time.
Verse 25. Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is.
Now that is heavy because the Lord says, "Do not forsake the assembling of ourselves together." That's us coming together, convocation, being in one building, same spirit, same mind, one place, one time. The Lord says, "Do not forsake that." Why is that heavy? Because, bro, what is one of the main things that we know when it comes to trying to get people to come?
That everybody
Most of 90% of them gonna say what?
they can't make
No. Let's go to the like you initially trying to get them to come. 90% of the people say what? Think about it. When you initially trying to get somebody to come to the church or to the building, 90% of them they'll say they're gonna come, but what do 90% of them do? Or stop answering the phone.
Yeah.
So this said, don't forsake the assembling of ourselves together. Why? Because most people do what? Forsake the assembling. They'll talk, they'll listen to you talk. They want you to hear their story. They'll let you, if you listen to them talk for 40 minutes about what they think they know about God, they'll let you do it. But when you give them like they'll let you hear them talking. They'll let you hear them talking. But as far as them showing up, they ain't coming. And then for those, so we got 90% of the people we're gonna talk to. We know 9 of them they don't either worship. They're not gonna say they'll come to one show. And then let's say you get some people to show up. What happens 90% of the time after they first show up? They don't come back. They come 1 week and they don't stay coming. So let's do don't forgive me, man. I'm telling y'all. Man.
You know that unleavened bread before?
And I'm full. Uh, 26.
Verse 26. For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sin. Verse 27. But a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversary.
Right. So the Lord says, it says, for we sin willfully after we receive the knowledge. So once we understand this, you understand that you got to be here. You understand this is New Year's. You understand that Passover is coming. You understand that keeping God's laws and commandments. You understand not forsaking the assembling of us together. You decide you still want to just do it. Okay. Where remains no sacrifice for you, and the Lord tells you what's going to come. So it's letting you know that Christ ain't sparing you on this one. So because he ain't sparing you, what you got to look for is looking for damn judgment in the nations. So let's go back to David and see why David ain't going to the new moon, since the Lord ain't playing. Who that? Sloppy. I didn't hear you, my bad. In 18.
First Samuel chapter 20 and verse 18. First Samuel chapter 20 and verse 18. Then Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty. And when thou hast stayed 3 days, then thou shalt go down quickly, and come to the place where thou didst hide thyself when the business was at hand, and shalt remain by the stone Ezel. And thou wilt shoot 3 arrows on the side thereof, and thou I shot at a mark. And behold, I will send the lad, saying, Go, find out the arrow. If I expressly say unto the lad, Behold, the arrows are on this side of thee, take them. Then come down, for there is peace to thee, and no hurt, as the Lord liveth. But if I say thus unto the young man, Behold, the arrow are beyond thee, go thy way, for the Lord hath sent thee away. And as touching the matter which thou and I have spoken of, behold, the Lord be between thee and me forever.
All right. So let's jump down to verse 24.
Verse 24. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat.
Excuse me.
And the king sat upon his seat as at other times, even upon his seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought something had befallen him. He is not clean, surely he is not clean. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, Wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to me, neither yesterday nor today? And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. And he said, Let me go, I pray thee, for our family have a sacrifice in the city. And my brother, he hath commanded me to be there. Now if I have found favor in thy eyes, let me get away, I pray thee, and see my brother. Therefore he cometh not unto the king's table. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said unto him, Thou son of the perverse, rebellious woman.
All right, so what happened is Saul was David bad. Saul's son Jonathan is best friends with David, which y'all heard the agreement they made. So David doesn't show up to the moon. Saul is like, okay, something has got to be wrong. He got to be unclean or something because he has not showed up to the moon. That's how serious the moon was to our people. And that's how serious it was to our people. That if you not be there, there had to be something going on. You didn't just miss the moon. Just cause. So with that being said, let's go to. All right, so yeah, that's why he was like, he got to be clean. So that's the history. That's a piece of history showing that our forefathers kept the new moon. Let me update real quick. Boom. Now let's go to, how about this? That happened fast. So you didn't just miss the new moon for no apparent reason. It had to be something serious for why you missed the new moon. And that's the history of show our forefathers kept the new moon, and we are, as you know, today, this new moon that came in sundown last night, brought in the beginning of a new year. So we heading towards Passover now, which is going to come to the point where it's time for y'all to throw away some good groceries. It's time for y'all to throw away some groceries, but at the same time, it's time to throwing out the yeast and leaven out of your house is the physical work of it. But what's going to count it is the spiritual works. Are you purging out leaven and sin that's within you? Because the 7 days of the no yeast going inside of you, no leaven coming, that's like a 7-day, 4-day cleanse of sin. No more sin. No sin is supposed to be able to come into you and rise up. So, would you look at the time? Yeah, over the hour.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
So, I know y'all want more, but you can't get no more. So make sure y'all enjoy your 11 bread as y'all can see. Let me show y'all another piece of this thickness. Whole nother level of thickness. Now I saw my head counts go down, so I'm assuming that one of y'all about of here. But you don't affect nothing going on here. I'm just saying that y'all got 2-3 hours to watch football, basketball, hour and a half, 2 hours to watch Basketball Wives, Atlanta Housewives, Love and Hip Hop. But an hour 30 minutes, 2 hours. Most High's word. No, you got 6. You got 6 days to boot BS too. You can dedicate one whole one to the Most High. Remember, I was telling y'all, it's easy to when you first hear this stuff. It's easy. But can you keep it up? Did you count the cost? Because one thing about us is once I notice you watching, I put things out there that you just can't go back to the world. Once you heard it, whether you remembered it or not, you heard it. Some of y'all swimming on islands. I'm gonna just keep it real. Some of y'all on islands. You might get 2-3. Not a good 3. So y'all understand this? Some of y'all are on islands. Meaning what? You by yourself. You ain't got nobody around. You kind of watching this thing, just hoping you can wing it right or it sound good. Well, get involved. Get in contact with people that you see that's in this walk. The Lord's will give you some type of, you know what I'm saying, where you're not completely all alone until you're able to get into the building. So I want everybody to just take advantage of people that's reaching to you. And to those who email me, I don't mind going back and forth with some of y'all every now and then, especially like some of you sisters, I may go back and forth with you, whatever. But we got kind of like, we got a sister in the building, so it's like, I don't mind helping, I don't mind counseling, I don't mind doing it, but you would be better suited. Now, it's like, I could counsel you and all that, but deal with a sister that's in the walk. Deal with a sister that's in the walk because she be able to relate to you a little better than me. And that's more of an example for you. I can come straight from these scriptures and I could be on your ass or whatever the case may be, but you're gonna need it. 3 point blank, we got a sister that's been in the building and going through trials, going through corrections, going through enduring, going through whatever the case may be, that's been going through those things to be built. You know what I'm saying? That's built for this thing. Now it's built for it. So therefore, go ahead and get in contact with it because that's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need a sister, mother in this truth, an older mother, like I said, but you're gonna need an older sister / mother figure in this truth. So don't be ashamed. I know some will be shy, but you know what I'm saying? Lord's will, y'all endure. This ain't we ain't got forever. The week that I dropped the class, talking about what's been going on with the bombings and all that, you should have saw the emails. Talking about the fear of the people. So, but oftentimes we treat this thing like just a feeling. Right. Get scared for the moment and then tomorrow that's what I say. Right. Let's keep God's law, statutes, and commandments. Most of all, it's coming together. And you sisters, get yourselves acquainted. Start trying to figure out who's the sister in the building that I can come in and start to, glean off of. Figure that out. Don't just be watching from the outside. Because I can tell you one thing: if you're sitting back just watching these classes from the outside, what's going to happen is it's going to get boring. So, with that, Happy New Year's. We finna celebrate, man. We're gonna get that to it. And I know y'all probably like, that wasn't even a long word. It was short. We just want to talk about something. Y'all understand what the new moon is, right? You understand that today is New Year's. You understand 14 days from now is Passover. And the mission is complete. God's law, statutes, commandments. Lord, we'll hear from you soon. I pray y'all stay in the spirit. I don't have to whoop y'all asses. I stay in the spirit in Saint Christ's name. It is New Year, it is new moon, so what did the Lord tell us to do? Let's go to Psalms. Yeah, I don't think. Oh shit, you wait on me to call. I'm looking at you, waiting on you to read. Oh. Psalms 81, verse 3.
Psalm chapter 81 and verse 3. Psalm chapter 81 and verse 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. For this was a statute for Israel and the law of the God of Jacob.
Right. So, you know what I said, blow up the trumpet on new moons and feast days. That it is a law. It is a law. We can read it in the law. Numbers 10 and 10.
Numbers chapter 10 and verse 10. Numbers chapter 10 and verse 10. Also in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, and in the beginning of your month, ye should blow up with the trumpet over your burnt offering, and over the sacrifices of your peace offering, that they may be to you for a memorial before your God. I am the Lord your God.
Right. So, we are commanded to blow the trumpet on the solemn feast days on the new moons. So, with that, let's blow this trumpet, some of these prayers, and we will be out. Oh.
Why you made me laugh, man?
God, for another day, another night. Thank you for waking us up tomorrow. Thank you for all your blessings. Give us for all our shortcomings, those that are known and unknown. Give us the strength to overcome the demons that we battled and may have succumbed to over the past year, Father God. And now we ask that you rebuild us, that we may be able to go through it, go through the things that's set to come, and that we may be able to endure it and stay faithful and strong through. Father God, this year we pray for more good times, for better times. We pray for the recovery of the things that we may have lost. We pray for recoverance of things that we may have forgotten, as far as spiritually, physically. In all things, we give you the abundance. In all things, we give you the praise for the abundance of all things. Father God, we thank you for your mercy, for your grace, for allowing us to still be here and try to get this thing right another day. Your strength to overcome demons at a day basis, and those that we succumb to. Give us for our shortcomings. Give us for the things that we do that make trespass against you. Give us for the situations and circumstances that we may take and deal with wrongfully, or the blessings that we may take for granted on a day-to-day basis. Father God, we sit here today reflecting on a year, thanking you. There's many that didn't make it, many that lost their ability to walk this year, the ability to see, the ability to hear, the ability to be able to feed themselves, just the small things that we take for granted on a daily basis. And only by your mercy, by your love and your grace, none of those things fell upon us. So, Father God, we give you glory, we give you praise, and we give you honor. We pray that in all things, you may be accounted worthy to enter into thy kingdom in that great day. Son of Christ's name, thank you. Amen. Amen. So, Israel, shalom most high in Christ, Lord's will. I pray next week everybody be in better spirits. For those of you who join in, get your spirits right and yourselves ready to go, that you may be more than just an online participant. And even if you're not necessarily in the building, that we can look up and say, hey, we know what this sister is up to. She's talking to somebody that's in the building. We know what this brother is up to. They're talking to somebody in the building. All the way till we get to the point where you can eventually physically join us. But I just pray next week be better. In Son Christ's name we pray. Thank y'all for joining us here at One Nation Israelite School. Shalom.